If you want to make some extra money online by taking paid surveys and you live in a country where there's not a lot available, maybe you have thought about using a VPN to get access to more surveys. So then maybe you're considering, is it then possible to actually hide your IP address by using a VPN and that way get access to more paid surveys? My name is Michael from paidfromservice.com, and I've taken thousands of online surveys myself. And in this little short video, I will tell you a little bit more about VPN and the use of VPN in correlation to taking paid surveys, and what you need to be aware of so you don't just go out and buy a VPN without knowing if it will actually be worth your money or not. Before starting, if this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you will get a notification when I release more videos like this. So the reality of paid service is just that it can actually be a great way to earn a little bit of extra cash online. You just need to be aware it's not going to make you a full-time income. It's not going to make you rich. But I also know that the amount of available surveys depends a lot on the country you live in. So in some countries, there's not a lot of available surveys, or they might not pay as much as in other countries, because that of course depends on the market and what the general costs are in that country, etc. So many people, and I actually quite often get asked this question, so can I use a VPN or proxy to hide my IP address and make it look like I'm, for example, living in the US when I live somewhere in Asia, and that way get access to all the US paid survey sites, because that's one of the countries that has the most. And the answer is a little bit complicated, because I know there's a lot of different information about this. So I will say that VPN, of course, service sites, you need to understand that the way service sites works is that the reason they can pay us to share our opinion is because they're doing market research, and that means companies are willing to pay them to get honest feedback for a specific group of consumers. So if a market or company is interested in hearing more about, for example, what the consumers in the UK or the US or Germany or wherever, Singapore, whatever, it's in a specific country, that's the information they are interested in, because they need to use that to improve their service or develop a product, for example. And they are willing to pay for that, and that's why we can get paid. So survey companies will do whatever they can to prevent us from cheating and getting around this, of course, because if then a service site suddenly, or a company suddenly finds out they've paid a service site for getting feedback from 1,000 customers or consumers, and they need it to be a specific UK group, for example, and then the majority of them suddenly turns out to give low quality answers and come from completely different countries, then the companies will start using that service site, and they will in general stop using online surveys, because they can't trust the information. So that's one thing we have to think about. Why do companies pay, and if we and why service sites then try to avoid that? When that is said, a VPN or proxy can have other advantages. I've written a full article on my website here about it, because you can use it, for example, to protect your privacy. You can use it to stream from anywhere in the country or world. That's a very normal way to use it also, and websites in general from all over the world, secure use of public Wi-Fi and all these things. So a VPN and a proxy can be very beneficial depending on your needs, but they do cost money for a proper one. And what you need to then be aware of is that many service sites will not allow it, and they will detect it automatically. You might be able to find some if you get a dedicated IP address, but it comes with some risks. You need to look at the specific service site and what their conditions are, because even if you use it for security or privacy things, then the service side cannot see that. They can just detect that you're using a VPN, and I know people that and I've tried it myself, use it for other purposes, and then I forgot about it and entered the service side, and I actually got blocked because they detected it, even though I was not trying to actually cheat. So that can happen, but so you need to look at the service side's conditions to be aware of that. So overall, I would say, so can you actually use it to take surveys and say, in theory, maybe you can on some service sites, but there are some risk, and I will show you in a minute a way to that you can still get good opportunities no matter where you live, but you will risk getting banned and you will risk losing your earnings if you have earnings in that anyway. So I would say a VPN can be very good for a lot of purposes, but if you buy it just for the purpose of taking paid service, it comes with quite a big risk. And also, if service sites finds out that people are in general doing this, they will just try to enhance the security, of course, because it threatens their business model. So we have to be aware of this, that it's not just to buy a cheap VPN and then you will get access to all the service in all of the world. That's not quite how it works. And many service sites also have, for extra security purposes, that you maybe need to verify over phone from a certain country and things like that. And so, and that's understandable. We have to understand also that they also need to make money. So if we try to cheat them, of course, we risk getting banned, and that you need to be aware of. So I would say, if you want to get a VPN, I actually have a suggestion here, also one of the best ones on my website. I would say you should not get it just for the purpose of taking paid service, and you have to be very careful about entering service sites with a VPN or proxy, even if it's not for cheating them, but even if it's just for security reasons. They do not know that, so you risk getting banned. So for other purposes, if you want to use it for other purposes, then there are some really great ones. I have one on my website I recommend for those purposes. For taking surveys, it's not really ideal, and you have to be very careful. But there is another thing you can do to get access to the most possible options for taking paid service no matter where you live. So when it comes to it, it depends on the best service size, depends on the country you live in, and that can be difficult to find a list of. And that's why I have actually on paidfromservice.com, you can see here in my sidebar, I have a list of the best sites in several countries, and I also have one that's called other countries in case your country is not here, but I keep expanding this list as well. And if not, you can also just go to these other countries and write a message there, leave a comment, and I will suggest some good ones for your site. You can also find it in the top menu here on my website. There's different countries here. You can click on them and see the list of your particular country, because this is the best way to get access to the most paid service and get paid to sites. That is to find the right ones for your country, because almost in any country there will be good service sites and GPT sites where you can earn some extra cash. No matter where you live, you have to be aware paid service and get paid to sites. It's not a way to make a full-time income. It's not meant to make you rich, but it can be a nice way to make some extra cash. And of course, if you live in wherever, if you live in Nigeria, and then you will not have the same options and the same opportunities and as in the US for taking paid surveys. That's just how it is, because the US market in that sense is bigger, and we just have to accept that's just how it is with taking paid service and get paid to sites. But then there are many sites that also allows other things than paid service, other micro online tasks that we can earn by doing. So I have on this list, I have all the best sites for all these countries, and I continuously update them with new opportunities. If your country is not on the list, you can go to the general top 10. You can also just leave a comment there on my website asking, if what is the best for my country, and tell me where you live. So this is the best way to get the most out of paid surveys, because it is risky to try to cheat it with a VPN. So you need to be aware of that. If you do that, then you risk getting banned and losing potential earnings there. So, check out my website, paidfromservice.com. Check out the list for your country, find the best opportunities there, and just ask me if you have any questions, any suggestions there. And then also make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yes, you will get a notification when I release more videos, more tips and tricks about paid service and get paid to sites and how to get the most out of these sites.